Muft ki Revdi is bad, but Muft ki Gajak is all right. Give me Muft ki Gajak, but Muft ki Revdis are bad. And before Muft ki Revdi, we have to get rid of Jhoot ki Gatri culture, with which we are suffering currently. Friends, most of you know that to make Revdi, small pieces of the roll of til, jaggery, sugar syrup and ghee are cut. And the process of making Gajak is also the same. But the only difference is that for making Gajak, the large pieces of the mixture of til, jaggery, sugar syrup and ghee are cut. That is, in other words, hundreds of Revdis can be made with a mix of one piece of Gajak. And I will give you some examples of free Revdis and free Gajak. Our government is okay with free Gajaks. But if poor people are getting some assistance in any form, government is having problem. They are having a problem for free Revdis. Food Security Act 2013 versus bank wrote off loans of rupees 10 lakh crore in last 5 years. Based on the Food Security Act 2013, government had distributed free ration to 80 crore citizens during the corona pandemic. Indirectly, the National Food Security Act also obliged the government to buy food grain from farmers at MSP. So if distribution of food grains to 80 crore citizens, that is 60% of population, and buying the same grain from farmers at MSP is free Revdi, then in the last 5 years, 9.92 lakh crore, approximately 10 lakh crore, was written off by banks. Why government is silent on this free Gajak culture? And friends, you may ask a question that loan write-off and loan waivers are altogether different. Valid question. So out of this 9.92 lakh crore written off by banks in last 5 years, 7.27 lakh crore is the share of public sector banks. In the reply given in the parliament, the government admitted that in the last 5 years, out of the amount written off by public sector banks, only 1.03 lakh crore was recovered. That is, public sector banks recovers 14% of the amount written off in the last 5 years. If I assume that the recovery will increase to 20% in the coming days, then also the public sector banks had not recovered 5.8 lakh crore rupees of loan. And mind it, when public sector bank is losing 1 rupee of debt, the taxpayers are losing 1 rupee of their tax payment to the government of India. Then second, Manrega versus corporate tax rate cuts. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005 guarantees every rural household a minimum of 100 days of employment in financial year. During the lockdown, when crores of people were forced to migrate from cities to their villages, Manrega provided them the work. In May 2022 itself, 3.07 crore families had demanded employment under Manrega. And you know what is the current year's Manrega budget? 73,000 crore, which is half of that corporate tax rate cuts hit which government of India took. Means in 1 year, because of corporate tax rate reductions, government of India is losing 1.45 lakh crore. And the Manrega budget of the current financial year is only 73,000 crore. So Muft ki Revdis is a question mark, but Muft ki Gajak is all time okay. So if it is a free Revdi, if giving 100 days employment guarantee to rural household is a free Revdi, why not the reduction in corporate tax rates announced by the government in 2019 is free Gajak? Net impact of the decrease in these corporate tax rate is rupees 1.45 lakh crore of less tax collection. This is twice the Manrega budget in the current financial year. Lastly, it is all smokes and mirrors culture. In other words, I can say jhoot ki gatri culture. After 2 days from now, we will celebrate 75 years of our independence. we would like to remind Modi government about their promises for the year 2022. Promise number 1, every Indian will have a house by 2022. Promise number 2, farmers' income will double by 2022. Promise number 3, bullet train will be operational by 2022. And promise number 4, our economy to be $5 trillion by 2022. And the promises goes on and on. In this regard, I would like to tell that if Muft ki Revdi is kharab, then how come Muft ki Gajak is okay? I would like to ask that we are suffering from jhoot ki gatri culture, not the Revdi culture. And we would like to ask 5 very specific demands or questions from the government. When will there be a discussion on freebies given by the public sector banks of rupees 5.8 lakh crore in last 5 years? When we are going to have a discussion on that? Second, if schemes like Food Security Act, MSP to farmers, Manrega, midday meal comes free of cost and are being widely discussed, when will there be a discussion on the loss of rupees 1.45 lakh crore per annum to the government due to the reduction in the corporate tax rates? Third, why a small amount or assistance given to the poor are freebies, while the freebies that the rich friends get all the time through low tax rates, write-offs and exemptions are necessary incentives. जो गरीब को मिले वो मुफ्त की रेवड़ी, और जो 5,80,000 करोड़ का नुकसान पिछले 5 सालों में ऋणों को बट्टे खाते में डालने से सरकारी बैंकों को हुआ, वो इंसेंटिव. जो गरीब को मनरेगा का 100 दिन का रोजगार की गारंटी मिले वो फ्रीबी, जो मिड डे मील में भोजन मिले वो फ्रीबी, जो राइट टू फूड के तहत राशन मिले वो फ्रीबी, और जो कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स रेट के कमी के कारण 1,45,000 करोड़ का नुकसान भारत सरकार को हो, उसको नाम दे दिया नेसेसरी इंसेंटिव्स. चौथा, फोर्थ क्वेश्चन, हाउ एंड व्हेन दिस झूठ की गठरी कल्चर विल एंड? एंड फिफ्थ, is PM going to give new deadline of promises made for year 2022 using smoke and mirrors culture? Because right now he is following smoke and mirrors culture, Gajak culture, jhoot ki gatri culture. And Prime Minister says that I had a sapna, I had a dream to have every Indian should have a house by 2022. My Prime Minister dreams are not fulfilled. So I as well as all the citizens of our country are very sad because our Prime Minister dreams are not fulfilled by the 75 years of independence.